Hello, this is Gavin Palmer with Hero Looking for Group. In this episode, I am going to talk about sense making. So, I watched The Portal um, back in 2019, where Eric Weinstein talks with Peter Thiel. And like all of the videos I watch, I always wish I was there taking notes and was able to speak to these people at the end of the show and let them know the things, the errors they are making, the mistakes they are making. Because, I mean, I've always felt this way. If I'm watching television, listening to podcast, whatever it is, people are making mistakes, and I would like to be able to point at those mistakes and help allow them to educate me in my misunderstanding, or allow me to educate them in their misunderstanding. So I was excited when I heard that Eric Weinstein had a Discord server. So I went to that Discord server and I managed to find my way there. And eventually, I didn't participate at first, but eventually I came across Brett Weinstein's video where he talks about the fourth frontier. And he talks about the hummingbird, how it gets this constant feedback so that it can fly. And it's not like our system of government where the right wing can take over for some time and the left wing can take over for some time. But this really kind of struck a nerve with me. And so back in April 2020, I wrote some information. I said, our systems do not function based on feedback. And so, I've thought about this before. I've been thinking about this since 2009, basically ever since the Zeitgeist movies. So the Zeitgeist movement talks about a resource-based economy where there is no money. And I used to try to argue with them, and I wish the forums were still available so you could see my arguments, but I would argue with them that information is currency. And so the same idea pops up here. The same idea that pops up here. It's like we need feedback. So I started talking a lot in The Portal Unofficial, and someone reached out to me and pointed me at a philosopher named Elliot Temple. And Elliot Temple had an idea that kind of matched up with this theme of sense making, and he called it Paths Forward. So you could go to his website, and at some point I should be able to find his Paths Forward. So Paths Forward. And so the whole Paths Forward idea basically says that you need to make yourself available so that other people can correct your mistakes. And I mean, this is the best goal. This is the reason, what's his name? My most recent post, Contract for the Web. So Tim Berners-Lee, he wanted the web to be a way for people to partner together so that one person on one side of the planet with half a solution could work with another person on another side of the planet who had the other half of the solution. This Path Forward, this is a policy that individuals must have in order to facilitate learning, cooperation, working together, sense making. This is the signal coming up out of the noise. Well, you have this person, Schmachtenberger. He's talking about sense making. he has a project called the Conciliescence Project. So I've reached out to him before, but I will reach out to him again. And I could just send this. And maybe my next post will be this video. So let's go ahead and send it. Contact. All right. So we do our best to read and respond to messages, but are generally unable to respond to most of them, including messages that are quite interesting because we simply don't have the resources to engage with. Making sure that your intent and context is clear makes it easier for us to respond. So Daniel is talking about sense making, and he could learn some things from Elliot Temple. And someone like myself, a software engineer, could build software to help him solve this problem. Like, this is a technical problem. Being able to identify the signal out of the noise it can be done with software. But you need software engineers, you need project managers, these people on the internet, I don't know if they are good at doing this. So I wrote about cheating in elections, and I've been thinking about elections. This is one way. So before I, was introduced to Elliot Temple, I was thinking, voting technology is the means by which people can get a sense of what everyone is thinking. I've tried to get involved politically in my state, allowing for ballot initiatives, which aren't allowed. But ideally, there should be a system by which people can provide feedback. And so we're at a great opportunity where Democrats thought there was fraud in the 2016 election. Now Republicans think there is fraud in the 2020 election. Well, how about we get together, and I mean we people who care about sense making and feedback that is reliable, allowing signals to rise above the noise, and so that you can have the actual true information that is coming from individuals, so that you can have meaningful conclusions. I mean, that's what an election is. So why don't we figure out how to do this? I tried reaching out to one open source foundation which would not accept my help. They were called Open Source Election Technology. There you go, OSET Foundation. I tried connecting with them whenever I was thinking about how elections are so important, and they did not want my help. And this is what I find. Most people, they put out this kind of nonprofit work, and they're not trying to do good work. That's what my morality is about, trying to do good work, trying to solve problems. So I want to be able to have conversations with all of the people who have power and claim to be interested in solving important problems, and understand that sense making is an important problem. I want to work with these people and introduce them to other people like Elliot Temple, so that we can we can have progress one step at a time. We can have progress. So this is for all of those Republicans who feel like this 2020 election was stolen. Well, let's make sure that we get a better election system. Make sure your state has a better election system. Don't run software that's proprietary. It needs to be open source software. Don't allow mail-in ballots unless the people who are mailing in the ballots are willing to sacrifice their anonymity, so that everyone knows that the person who sent the ballot, actually, we know exactly who they are and who they voted for. If you want anonymity, then you need to use a a different system that requires you to put in a little bit more effort. All right, so that's what I'm really into. I'm into sense making, solving problems. I want you to be able to tell me the mistakes I'm making, and I want all of the people who are powerful, including presidents. The President of the United States needs to have a way for the most intelligent human beings in the world to be able to correct the president when the president is making mistakes. It has never happened that way all throughout history. And that I'll end with kind of my first post. When I reached out to Elliot Temple, it's the human resource problem. Kind of my theory on why we have so many problems is because we have not figured out how to organize humans effectively. Part of organizing humans effectively is sense making, and part of sense making is teaching and learning and the processes that are necessary to facilitate teaching and learning, as well as the mindset. So I appreciate your time, and I look forward to speaking with more people who want to work together in order to take this next step, which could have huge implications. Thank you. With love, Gavin Palmer, Hero Looking for Group.